Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at a car that somewhat kind of confounds me a little bit. It is the Lamborghini Urus, and the reason it confounds me is because of the numbers on this car. So if you look at the top speed of 195 miles per hour with a 0 to 60 of 2.5 and a quarter mile of 10.1, which says the car is really fast. In the testing of this car, it's not great off the line, but once it gets going, it seems really good. I'm just conflicted on it because I really enjoy driving it. I just can't tell if it's actually a good car or not while in single player. I'm really looking forward to building it in multiplayer. I just need to get the money together to do it. Buying the Urus isn't expensive. It's the engine swap that's expensive. But yeah, I'm going to show you what I have got going here, and we'll go from there. So for the engine, we have equipped the 6.4 liter V8 engine. And like I said earlier, it'll give you all that wonderful stuff. I do have a couple of other builds. There is this S-Class with the 5.0 liter. I'll show you as well. It gets you a top speed of 202 with a 0 to 60 of 2.6 and a quarter mile of 10.4. I didn't find it as good as this build, and that's why I'm showing you this one. Okay, so for the parts, we have the Pro Induction, the Elite ECU, the Elite Fuel System, Elite Exhaust, and of course the Elite Screw Supercharger with the Sport Nitrous, the Elite Road Suspension, the Super Brakes, the Elite Grip Tires, the Elite Clutch, the Pro 6-speed gearbox with the Sport Differential, and I have Super Nitrous Grip and Super Nitrous Drift. So one thing that's kind of odd about this car that I've only noticed with this car and no other cars is the handling setup. You only have options to make it grip or drift. Beyond that, you can't mess with anything else. Which is fine because the car actually handles really well when you make it drift. It's a little under-turny in the corners, but it drifts the corners really well. And the brake tap and the gas tap will make it drift. Or you can use the handbrake, obviously. So I'm going to go hop into an S-Class race with this build and see how it does. Or actually show you how it does, because I know how it does. I've actually raced this in single player quite a bit more than any other car I've ever built in single player. So yeah, let's go get in the race. Okay, so here we are in Rapid Transit. I chose Rapid Transit because it is a race that happens very often in multiplayer. So as you can see, off the line, it's not great. I mean, whoever's in first, Medusa, is just pulling right now. But I'm starting to catch up. And it won't be long until I've got the lead. But that's one of the things that just confuses me about this car. See, look at that beautiful drift right there, which would have been even better if that car would have stayed out of the way. But that's one of the things that confuses me about this car, because it has such quick numbers. I would think it would be a beast off the line and not as slow as it is getting off the line. And with some driving mistakes, I have yet to catch Medusa, but I think I'll get her around here. Maybe. We'll see. She just kind of just keeps pulling here and there.
Looks like we have some company.
Which does make me slightly worried for multiplayer with this car. But it's doing 193 down that stretch right there. And my my RSX tops out at 191 going down that stretch. Oops. That was bad. That was my fault. But here we go. I'll let the bad respawn work in my favor for once instead of against me. But yeah, my RSX hits 191 going down that stretch right there, and this just hit 193 and had some top speed to spare still. So it's a very confusing car to me. I just feel like it is fast, but at the same time it isn't. And that could be partly because it's an SUV and their SUVs are just houses on wheels. So I'm not 100% sure how I feel about this car, even though I have enjoyed driving it. Yeah, see, 191 to 193 again. So let's see if I can get through this time without messing this up. There we go. I mean, this car is one of the best at taking that corner that I've ever raced with. Oops. I did not mean to drift it there. That was my fault. I was just trying to avoid hitting that truck, and I accidentally drifted. I mean, I've got decent distance, but she was catching me on the dirt, which doesn't surprise me in all honesty. She's not catching me now. Well, maybe a little bit, but she's not gonna win. I'm gonna get away for sure. I'm gonna win it. I am so confused by this car. Like, I like it, and it surprises me I like it, and it looks cool, but I don't understand it. It just feels slow when it's supposed to be fast. And I finished in 301, so we'll say 5 seconds slower than I should have because of that messed up turn earlier. So 2:55 is around where it would have been, which is a pretty good time. Yeah, I'm just gonna go hop into another race. Alright, so now I'm on the endurance race of the Scenic Route, just to show this car off a little bit more and just kind of show how weird it is. That one, it seemed to come off the line pretty well, so that's just one of those things I don't really understand about this car. In some instances, it behaves really awesome, and then other instances, you're like, what did this just do? So, bye, Lyric. We'll, see you in a little bit. I mean, you can see in 6th gear, which is its top gear, it's just climbing in the speed. It's not like it's hanging out and oh god, that was my bad. It's not like it's hanging out and taking forever to, get going. It's just climbs through those gears no problem. It's just a matter of getting up to there. And if you don't wreck, it really helps. Just so you know. Yeah, everybody's running on top speed right now, and I wrecked out, so I'm not. And now I'm driving like garbage. I need to concentrate more on my driving, I think. Hey! That was ridiculous, Anechka. Annika, however you want to say your name. Yeah. Alright. Hopefully we can just get back to the lead now. I mean, it's not too far away, right? Yeah, I can see Lyric up there in first. And Medusa over here thinking she's got it in second. There we go. I mean, like I said, you can see how well this thing drifts these corners. It's really good, and it builds up the burst knots really fast. And now we're back to climbing in the top speed, but I almost missed that because I didn't realize there was a corner there. And this corner's a little sharper than... Oh, nope, not as sharp as I thought. It looks sharp coming up to it. Oh, but that, Whoops! Sorry, Lyric. Whoops! Sorry again. I realize this makes the car look worse than it is. This is just my poor driving at this point. I really do want to build this car in multiplayer though. It just seems fun. Hopefully after the March 21st update, you can earn money quicker, and then maybe I can build a lot more of these cars in multiplayer versus, you know, not. So then I can find out if they actually are good builds or not. So, I mean, when this thing starts to put distance in, it puts the distance in. It's just, once you screw up, it just seems like they catch up no problem. And that could be rubber banding with the AI, or it could be the car. I'm not 100% sure which it is. All I know is, looking at the numbers for this car, I expect it to fly down the road way more than it actually does. Oh, I did forget to show off the... Oh, I did sort of show the handling off for this car. Just forgot to mention it when I did the build. Alright. I mean, we're getting close to the end of this. And for the moment, I'm okay. For the moment, I've put some decent space between me and second place. I mean, it's over 400 yards. That's good. All I have to do is, you know, not hit traffic, not screw up, that kind of thing. And it's usually the best laid plans and all that. I mean, okay, we're up over 600 yards from me in second place. 1,000 from me to fourth. Oh. Well, at least it was a cop car and not a, like, pedestrian car, so it didn't knock me out of the race. Well, you know what I mean. Wrecked me out, I suppose. Not so much knocked me out. And this car does drive like it feels heavy. So yeah, I put a lot of good distance between us there towards the end of the race once I stopped running into things and hitting things and everything else. But I'll go show the alternate S-Class build for this car. And if you decide you prefer that build over this one, you can build that instead. Alright, let's go check that out. Okay, so for the alternate S-Class build for this car, you're going to use the 5.0 liter V8. And then for the parts, it is the Super Induction, the Super ECU, the Elite Fuel System, the Super Exhaust, the Elite Screw Supercharger with Pro Nitrous, Elite Road Suspension, Super Brakes, Elite Grip Tires, Elite Clutch, the Pro 6-speed gearbox, and the Sport Differential with Super Nitrous Grip and Super Nitrous Drift. Alright, so I do have to adjust the handling on this one, and we can adjust that to 70% grip for this one. And that'll give us a top speed of 202 miles per hour, 0 to 60 of 2.6, and a quarter mile of 10.4. So it's a little bit slower with the 0 to 60 in the quarter mile than the other build is, but it does have a little bit higher top speed. So I'm going to go find a race for this one and do that real quick, and let's see if we can tell a difference and see if one of the builds is better than the other. Okay, so here we are in On Rails, and get that launch in there. Off the line, still not the best. It does start catching up relatively quickly. Hey, get out of my way, Lyric. You don't belong in front of me. So now we just got to catch Chase Boy, who just ran himself into some stuff. So around that corner, ooh, whoa, watch out. So, I mean, drifted around that corner very nicely. And that one. So now we just have to not mess up, and we should be okay. I do like that this one is grippier than the other build. Oops. Well, so much for not messing up. I do like that this is grippier than the other build. It seems to take corners a little better. It seems to underturn less in those corners. And it still drifts around the corners very nicely. As you can see by that one. And now at this point we're just in the last stretch, so it's just get up to top speed as quick as you can without wrecking into anything. Like these silly little barriers they put there to trick people. Hey, I finally got some burst NOS built up. And okay, we actually broke 200 there. So this build feels very similar to the other one. It's just like I said, a little bit slower with the 0 to 60 in the quarter mile. It seems to accelerate about the same though. They're both about the same off the line. So I think it just matters if you want that little bit of extra top speed. Either way, I think either build is good. As I've stated a few times through this video, it's not great off the line, but once you get going, it's a good build. It feels good. It's really easy to control this car, and it just climbs through the speed once it gets into those gears. So it's not like it's getting bogged down like a lot of builds do. They hit a certain point and they don't really go faster than that, even though they've got another 50 miles per hour to get to their top speed. This one just wants to get to its top speed. So I do recommend buying it and trying it. If anybody has built this in multiplayer or does build this in multiplayer, let me know how it performed for you, because I really want to know. And I just don't have the cash in multiplayer to build it yet, and I'm not about to sell a lot of the cars I have because I want to hold on to them and I like them. If I do build it in multiplayer, I'll make a video on it and I'll let you guys know. So in the meantime, that's going to do it for today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, leave some comments, and I'll see you in the next one.